Since 2017, the Italian Wine Podcast has exploded and expects to hit 6 million listens by the end of July 2023. We're celebrating this success by recognizing those who have shared the journey with us and giving them the opportunity to contribute to the ongoing success of the shows. By buying a paper copy of the Italian Wine Unplugged 2.0 or making a donation to help the ongoing running costs, members of the international Italian wine community will be given the chance to nominate future guests and even enter a prize draw to have lunch with Stevie Kim and Professor Attilio Scienza. To find out more, visit us at italianwinepodcast.com. Chin chin! Welcome to another episode of On the Road Edition, hosted by Stevie Kim. Each week, she travels to incredible wine destinations, interviewing some of the Italian wine scene's most interesting personalities, talking about wines, the foods, as well as the incredible travel destinations.
Good morning. So first of all, let me introduce you to my tasting panel. I'm a little lazy today, Dorli, so I don't know if you've followed us in the past. Let me just turn it around. Can you kind of see? This is Lamb.
Hi.
Hi. He thinks he's the boss, but just let me assure you he's not. Okay. He's our Vinitaly International Academy program coordinator, and he's originally from Chengdu. Okay, but he's been with us for a long time. Believe it or not, he's the longest, right?
Yeah.
Because usually people leave me after a couple of years, so he's a dinosaur.
I understand.
Okay. So and then we have our in-house WSET diploma educator and our Italian wine ambassador, Rebecca Lawrence.
Hi, Rebecca.
Definitely the smart one out of the pack. And she's English, so she sounds smart, even if, at times she's not. It's just the English.
It's a question of language, yes.
And then we have Rachel from Memphis, Tennessee. Rachel. And then we have Elena from Siberia. And I am not making this shit up. She's from Memphis, Tennessee, and she's from Siberia. Okay? Then we have Franco from Saronno. He's our WSET coordinator for the School Italian Wine Academy. Then we have Christina. She actually has an incredible palate. She used to work with Luca Galdini, who's a crazy person, but taught her everything she knows about tasting. She's our in-house enologist. And also she's a professional football player, like American football. So she's my bodyguard. Okay. And then we have Jacopo, and he's our Italian wine ambassador, but also my classmate for WSET diploma. And then Shawan's not here today. She's also my classmate. She's a bit under the weather. So there we go. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm fine. Thank you.
Do you feel like you're kind of not zoomed out, but Clubhouse fatigue? Are you feeling that yet?
I decided to be very selective because it's really addictive, but I must say, I love it because I have learned so much in the last 4 weeks because it's on Clubhouse. You get so much information on subjects which usually are not treated in your bubble. It's so I go to talks that are outside the wine, and I really learn a lot. I'm very, very grateful to that. But you must be very selective because otherwise you stay in there for 24 hours. There is always, it's around the world.
It's like, hey, Tushar. Tushar's joining us from Dubai. You know Tushar, right? Tushar Bora.
Maybe, yes.
So Clubhouse, I think we need to, I'm going to actually organize a room. Hey, Renee. Renee's from Clubhouse. Hello.
Okay. Hi. No, from Canada.
Yes.
Yeah.
But today we will be talking about your wines because you are first tell us a little bit about yourself, your Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the PR side and the winemaker side.
Yeah. Well, it's not contradictive, so that's the good thing about it. I founded a PR agency which is called Wine&Partners in 1991. So my state-of-the-art investment to found the agency was a fax machine.
What do you mean? You just had a fax machine?
No, I bought a fax machine. This was the investment, and it was state of the art in terms of communication.
Nice.
There was no internet. There was no mobile phone. There was no email. So
This was 91?
1991, yes. There was no email.
There was email 91.
No, it was...
Maybe not in Austria, but in the rest of the world.
No, it's
By the way, when we start, when we start with a special guest, like we have like special accessory, like with Laura Catena, we wore all the barrettes, and with Andrea last week, I found an old vine. For Austria, we couldn't find anything, so here we go. All right. So let's go back to your fax machine in 91.
So that was 91, and since then we have evolved a little bit, and and now we are a quite digital company, of course. And on the other side, I founded a winery, a vineyard project in 2002, and on a hillside which was quite unknown or forgotten, which is called Spitzerberg. That's what you have on the label in front of you. And it's a hillside in the very east of Austria. The region is called Carnuntum, which is a Roman word. It has really been founded, hey Italians, by the Romans in the year 8. And in the very east of that region, there is this Spitzerberg hillside, which is not very high. It's about 300 meters high. But as all the rest of the region is very flat down to the Hungarian plain, it makes a difference. And it's a limestone soil, very poor limestone soil, and extremely windy, because this Spitzerberg is the beginning of the Carpathian Mountains. And then there is a corridor of about 50 kilometers before the beginning of the Alps. And
now, listen, Dorli, can you just tell us, to the rest of us, where this area is? It's in the eastern part of Austria. Just give us kind of a...
If you start in Vienna and you go on the Danube east for about 50 kilometers, then you arrive to the place where I make my wines. And if you continue for another 10 kilometers, then you arrive either in Slovakia or in Hungary.
Yeah, so I did really that by mistake once, actually.
It's really the last corner of Austria. And this is why, so the mountain where I grow wines is part of the Carpathians, which is the big mountain chain that goes down all the way to Romania. It's the main Eastern European mountain chain. So it's not the Alps, but the Carpathians. And this hillside called Spitzerberg used to be quite famous, like 100 years ago. It was supposed to be the best red wine place of Austria, but probably there was not so much competition at the time. And then it has been kind of forgotten. There was a cooperative founded and it failed and it went bankrupt. And when I came there in 2002 and I started to work there because my grandmother had a tiny vineyard of 0.17 hectares there.
So this is your family.
Exactly. It was like a small garden place where we had some vineyards. But I had a very strong emotional relationship to that place. And so I thought maybe I should try to make something out of it. And the longer I saw it and the more I work on it, I realized that this is a fantastic terroir. And to me, of course, it is outstanding. And I think it is one of the it has leading potential in the old, let's say, Central European zone. It is very, very specific, very individual, special personality. I'm very proud. I work now on the Spitzerberg for nearly 20 years. And
so when was your first vintage? When was
2002. I made 500 bottles then.
You have like 8 wines now, right?
Yeah, I think it's about 8 wines.
Yeah, and what is the total volume of production? You're still making tiny volume, right?
I work on 11 hectares and I produce from 11 hectares, I produce 40,000 bottles. So it's very, very tiny production because it's so dry, so windy, so exposed, but very intense wines. I hope that you can prove that when you have them in your glass.
Oh my goodness. It's 12:43, so we have to start tasting the wines. Okay?
Yes, please.
So we'll be tasting 2 wines today. Can you just pronounce this so I don't butcher up?
It's Samt und Seide,
which means Samt und Seide.
Exactly, which means in English it means velvet and silk.
Oh, okay. You see, and then we have your
Ried Spitzerberg.
Okay, Ried
So
Spitzerberg.
Ried, if you see on an Austrian wine label the word Ried, it means that it's a single vineyard wine. Ried is the name of vineyard.
That's good for my exam.
Yes.
Okay. So we will be tasting the first wine first.
Yes, the first wine first. It's a good idea. It's Samt und Seide is a pure Blaufränkisch. The grape in both wines is pure Blaufränkisch, and you have in front of you the same vintage, the same grape from the same hillside, and the same winemaking. The only difference between these two wines is the age of the vines.
How old are the vines?
In the first wine, the Samt und Seide, I use all the vineyards that have an age between 10 and 30 years.
Okay.
And what you can understand, and this is why I use the name Samt und Seide, is that the younger vines give a more velvety, rounder, like baby face taste. And the older vines, which with 30 years, they already come into a adult age. On the Spitzerberg, they make a very silky, elegant, fine taste. So it's really about texture on your palate. And you will see later on in the Ried Spitzerberg, which is very old wines. They are between 45 and 70 years old. This is pure silk.
Listen,
and silk means it's very dense, but very light.
Dorli, so Renee is asking, love the labels. Are these wines exported to Ontario or anywhere in Canada?
Not yet. But
okay,
I'm happy.
You should, Renee, you should DM Dorli. Also, it's not actually imported, not even to Italy at the moment. So if anyone is interested from Italy, you should also ping Dorli for sure. So, your wine is basically, we can say it's organic, right?
It's organic,
certified organic. Since 2018, you have the open vats, food treading, old cast oak, and no filtration, right?
Exactly.
Other than this, what can you tell us about the first wine?
Okay, probably what is important is to understand the grape. Blaufränkisch is a Central European grape that has a quite resistant skin. So this is very good because we have sometimes we have rains in autumn, and we have very big heat in summer. So Blaufränkisch is quite resistant, and it has a very intense aroma. If you don't know the grape, you could maybe imagine a mix between Nebbiolo, Pinot Noir, and Syrah. A mix of those three, which are all of the same family. And then you understand a little bit. You have the freshness and the delicate fruit maybe of Pinot. You have the tannins and the acidity of Nebbiolo. And then you have sometimes the full-bodiedness of Syrah. So it's all the three in there.
Are you enjoying this podcast? There is so much more high-quality wine content available from Mama Jumbo Shrimp. Check out our new wine study maps or books on Italian wine, including Italian Wine Unplugged, and much, much more. Just visit our website, mamajumboshrimp.com. Now, back to the show.
Yeah, I love that Pinot and Nebbiolo. Like for me, less Syrah, but I mean the pepperiness. Yes. What do you guys think? Do you guys have any questions for Dorli at this point? I know somebody had a question.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi. I just want to ask, which are the major challenges to produce, sell, and promote a Blaufränkisch or general premium red wines in Austria? Blaufränkisch is just the 6% of the general vineyards, and
Yes.
you're in a region where whites are still the 90%. So producing premium reds is very challenging. So how do you face this?
Yeah. Well, it is. Thank you for the question. It is definitely challenging, but we have also some help. For example, by global warming. So our region really at the region of Carnuntum really at the moment is a winner of the global warming because we get our harvest, for example, for Blaufränkisch nowadays is like 4 to 5 weeks earlier than 20 years ago. So that means we are really having beautiful, ripe, intense red wines every year and not just in exceptional years. So with our evolvement, we see that also the market evolves. The whole region gets more awareness for top red wines. And then, of course, this is inside Austria, but then also working outside Austria is really challenging because we have both. Austria does not have such a high perception or awareness for red wines. And then Blaufränkisch is a very hip grape now between sommeliers, but not so much between consumers. So there is a lot of communication to be done. But really, it is a wine type that corresponds so much to what people nowadays like in the wine world. So it's not the heavy, bold wines, but it has a lot of freshness. It's very food friendly and it is very specific, very individual. So it's not one wine more of the same, but it's really very individual. So we have chances and a big potential, but we have to work from top to down. Also we work a lot with press, with specialized press and with sommeliers of, fantastic restaurants because those people look for delicate wines that enhance the food and does not overwhelm the food. So I think this is a wine that is very much made for that, for food.
But you said it's good to pair with food. What kind of food? Like first, like tell me some foods like Austrian food, but also international cuisine.
Yeah, I mean the important thing is that you have to see what is the age of the wine. Blaufränkisch is a varietal that ages very well, and the older it gets, the better it is in combining this food. A young Blaufränkisch, maybe not so much mine because we are very soft in tannins, but very often Blaufränkisch has a lot of tannin plus acidity. So then you need salt and some fat in the dish. And the older it gets, the more balanced it becomes. So you can serve nearly everything with it. I mean, I know Aldo Somme in New York served Saint-Jacques with my Spitzerberg and it works very well.
So with fish.
With fish as well. But of course, if it is a young, like these two, a young, powerful red wine, I would prefer some long time cooked beef cheeks or something like that, where you really have some consistency that works with it.
You know, the purpose of doing these tasting panel is really for WSET studies. So at the end of the WSET, there's like recommended aging time. They talk about style and quality, and then like should you drink now? Should you hold it? Or
yes,
what is the ideal aging for these wines?
Yeah, so my experience is that in a cooler year, let's say like 16 or 14 or 10, you can start drinking the wines after 3 to 4 years. But in a big year, like the one you have in front of you, the 17, I would keep it, if it's for really getting a nice balance, I would keep it for 8 to 10 years.
Wow.
Before serving. Yeah. Because if you drink it now,
we're going to be needing more wine then, Dorli.
Yeah. I'm sorry. No, but this is the young wines are very impressing with their fruit and their, they are kind of, impressive, but they are not yet in their balance and they don't show so much terroir at the moment. So this is a process that the power of the sun like goes back and fades out and the terroir fades in, and this needs time. And in a cooler year with a little bit more rainfall, the power of the sun is not so much. So this balance they can reach earlier. In a bold year like 17 or 15 or 2009, 10 years is fantastic. So if you start after 8 years, it's fine.
So would you say, what's your signature wine out of these two?
Well, the question is, what is your signature wine? The Spitzerberg is, of course, is my top wine. It's made from very old vines, and it is a showcase, in my opinion, what a Blaufränkisch from Austria, from limestone, because it's clearly marked by limestone soil, should be. But it's only a small quantity. I only make like 2,000, 2,400.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Of course. And the other wine, the Samtenside, is my most important wine. It's about half of my production is that. And I think a signature wine should be something that is really available, not just a wine that you have to run, I don't know, 2,000 kilometers to get a bottle. So I think that the two wines are quite similar. They have the same signature, I would say. It is just the one is made from old vines and is a little bit more relaxed and has the wisdom of age. And it's a little bit more, like that. And the Samtenside is is younger, is a little bit more vibrant maybe at the moment. And it's impressing a lot because of its fruit also in the year.
So you're so focused on the storytelling, but just our audience. First of all, Ayana Misawa, she's from Grace Wine from Japan, our friend, and we will actually be tasting her wines in a few weeks. I don't know when, 3 weeks. And she says, love Dorli's Spitzerberg.
Yes.
I know, I'm Spitzerberg with the little hot, and then also a sommelier 0.2. I have no idea who this person is. These are great wines.
I know him. He loves my 2008 Spitzerberg very much.
Okay, so obviously a long time fan. Listen, Dorli, we have a few more minutes left. I know we've spoken about kind of the differences, the old vine versus lesser old. Yeah. What are the other differences for the second wine compared to the first?
No other differences in the making. No other differences, and this is to me the exciting situation that you have quite different wines in front of you, but the only difference really is the age of the wines of the vineyards, and this is why I chose these two wines to you so that you can, because this is something you can learn, and if you pay attention very carefully, you will realize that the Spitzerberg from the old vines is the longer wine. It looks maybe in the beginning a little.
What did you say? The normal wine?
The longer wine.
Oh, the longer.
It has that. Yeah, it has more complexity. It's longer, but it's not more powerful. I think power and alcohol and forefront fruit is something that is very typical for younger vines, if you can speak about young vines when they are 30 years old. But for old vines, and this is what I really love, is the length, and it's a very, very dense texture, but without being heavy. As I said, it's like silk. Silk is very dense. You can't look through the you can't look through it, but it's very fine, and still it is very resistant. And this is to me the ideal personality that I look for in a great wine, that it should not be powerful, but very clear, dense, long, and elegant.
So let me ask you one last question, which is a typical WSET diploma question. Do old wines necessarily produce higher quality wines? What is your opinion on that?
No, I would say it's like with people. Age, I mean, being old does not necessarily mean that
I'm not sure I'll get any marks for that. Be like people.
It's not that you are a better person, but usually you have more knowledge than a young person. And if you are smart, you use it in a better way. So old wines let's say, if old wines are in perfect shape, and this is a question of how they have been treated, they can give very harmonious, elegant, precise and high personality wines that a young wine can never give. You can, this length and structure and complexity is something that you cannot create in the cellar. This is something that is given only by old wines. And it's a difference. It's very complicated to taste it because most of people only look at what is the first taste. It's very impressive and thing. And the length and the finesse and complexity in the length is something that most people don't look for. And if you do this for your training, you should really look at that and really find out, how do I recognize old wines? And once you get that, you will always recognize it, because it's a big difference. And the big question is, how can a vine become old? Because in many vineyards of the world, usually they are digged out after 30 or 35 years because the vineyard is not productive anymore. So our target is, with every work that we do in the vineyard and with every decision, to give them the possibility to become very old. So this is organic viticulture, this is soft pruning, this is very soft treatments. So everything we can do so that they don't get sick, that they don't get any harm, and that they can become 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years old. And this is the challenge, because it's not easy to get old wines.
Great. Listen, so thank you so much. Please look out for Dorli. We're going to thoroughly, because 1 o'clock at the office, it's lunchtime. I have not seen anybody using the spittoon a lot, so I think we'll be continuing this tasting panel. We'll put out the notes for you later. But first of all, I want to tell everybody that to look out for Dorli on every Wednesday at 8 p.m., right? In the clubhouse?
Yeah, except next week, because we do the Asia thing next week. This is very interesting. I hope that you can come in. We do about what has changed in the Asian markets in the last 12 months. But because of the time difference, we have to do it at 3 o'clock next Wednesday.
All right. I do that too. When I do Asia, I do it at like this time, 12 o'clock,
exactly.
1 o'clock. Okay, great. So look out for Dorli Muhr. She's very active on Clubhouse, has very interesting rooms dedicated to the wine business. I run a room on Thursdays about winemakers. Tonight, actually, 8 p.m., I'll have Gravner, Simchik, and Alice Firing, that'll be interesting.
Girls.
Yeah, and then I do one market series as well during the week, mostly Wednesday.
Fantastic.
So,
yeah.
Thank you so much. Let's say goodbye to Dorli.
Have a good lunch.
Yeah, I think we're going to thoroughly be enjoying this. Okay, thank you so much.
And please, Steve, please give me feedback after lunch.
Yes.
How you think the wines behave with whatever you eat? I hope you have nice dishes.
I just have like grissino. So I don't know.
Okay.
But yes, we're going to do the proper tasting notes in any case. Okay.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you. Bye. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you for joining us on another installment of On the Road Edition, hosted by Stevie Kim. Join her again next week for more interesting content in the Italian wine scene. You can also find us at ItalianWinePodcast.com or wherever you get your pods. You can also check out our YouTube channel, Mama Jumbo Shrimp, to watch these interviews and the footage captured of each location. Chin chin!